Minnesota, 1999, mid-February. It was a cold, wet evening in the city of Rochester, and the people of the town were totally unaware of the horror that was about to take hold of them. On the 18th of February, two strangers arrived in the affluent neighborhood of Maplewood, in the northwest quadrant of the city. The strangers caught the eye of the locals as they didn't quite fit in. Dressed in all black, black nail polish, long black hair, and complete goth look. They settled into 12659 Dewey Avenue, and, to begin with, kept to themselves. Soon, they introduced themselves at the neighborhood watch meetings as David and Genevieve Holland, and the town folk slowly began to welcome them into the community. Things, however, were about to change and affect the lives of many in a way far removed from anything they've ever experienced. In mid-April of 1999, the body of Harold Weissman was discovered at his home. At first, there was no obvious signs of foul play. That was until the autopsy. It was determined that Mr. Weissman had died from exsanguination or severe blood loss. However, there was no definite signs of how this happened. Until that is, Dr. Howard Dennis, the ME, noticed two small puncture wounds on the neck, close to the main artery. The neighbors started to notice strange occurrences, such as visitors at odd times during the evening. At one point, according to Mavis DeWalt, who lived directly across from the Hollands, there was a party of 6 arriving at 2 a.m. They were all dressed in the same manner as the family, which stirred up a few concerns amongst the residents. These concerns started to rise more and more as the body count in the area rose with all the deaths, with all the same marks, and drained of blood. But where was the blood? As no pools were ever found at the scene, another fact was that every time they found a body, of which there was now 6, the new residents were never home. After the latest body, a 23-year-old university student, Michelle Danvers, was discovered a mile away from where Harold Weissman was killed, the local police department became suspicious, as the killings had started just as the Hollands arrived in the area. Miss Danvers had suffered from severe head trauma and exsanguination, but, as before, there was no evidence of the bloodletting at the scene, which led detectives to look at a secondary crime scene, of which there was no apparent locations. It was on a Thursday night in late May when Dr. Abraham Mendez was driving home from a house call that he noticed something strange going on just off the side of the road. He couldn't quite make out what was going on, just that there were two shadowy figures crouching over something. With that, he pulled his silver Mercedes over to the side of the road and got out to investigate. It was now that he realized the true horror of what he was witnessing. He ran back to his car, and as he drove away, he called 911 and explained to the police just what he had seen. As he recounted the events of the evening, his stomach turned with every sentence. He described the scene. There were two figures huddled by the side of the road, he said. So I decided to pull over to check everything was okay. Worst mistake of my life, he continued. I recognized the two of them instantly. It was the Hollands from Dewey Avenue. They were crouched by the side of a young woman, who was, as far as I could see, barely alive at this point. As he felt his stomach tighten once again, he continued. They appeared to be drinking her blood. Between them, they appeared to be aroused at the spectacle of watching one another performing the act. They didn't notice him, as they were too involved in what they were doing to even care if they were seen. He had never seen anything quite like it. After receiving this new information, the police department raced to the Hollands address, blocking the driveway and surrounding the property. As they breached the door and made entry, they came across half a dozen people with blood smeared all over their faces, and further, they searched the house and more disturbing things became. The lead detective made his way through into the kitchen, where he found a large industrial refrigerator packed with clear, sterilized plastic bags full of blood. He then made his way up to the first-floor bedroom, only to be faced with Satanistic figurines and other paraphernalia. Various bondage equipment hung in the closets, arousing further suspicion. As the couple finally arrived home, they noticed the house was surrounded by squad cars and realized that their spree was over. As they were questioned as to why they carried out the acts as they did, they explained that they believed they were created immortal by the devil himself, and they had to sacrifice the living and feed on their blood as way of thanks and continued existence. After hearing all the evidence, the courts decided that they would both serve 6 life sentences and would never see the light of day again. As for the co-conspirators at the house, they received sentences varying from 3 to 20 years, dependent on their involvement. Hey loves, and thank you for listening to Bloodlust. This is a story by Daniel Bridge, and it was written for Tainted Tales. I am going to link both of their Twitter accounts and their YouTube accounts below so you guys can check them out. Daniel is an amazing author and has a lot of amazing stories that he has written for Tainted Tales. If you like this story, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. I love you all. And let's see, what else? It's been one of those long weeks, so please forgive me. I'm a little scatterbrained today. If you guys would like me to narrate any subscriber stories, creepypastas, any Let's Not Meet stories, just send them over to my email. I will leave my email in the description box below. I also will leave my Twitter handle and my Snapchat, and you guys can come and check me out on those other social media websites. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Also, don't forget, I'll see you when the lights go out.